Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly market view for Monday the 24th of October to Friday the 28th of October 2022. My name is Vishal. Let's get started. Alright, let's start with the Nifty chart, and let's start with the monthly chart to see what's happening on the monthly time frame of the Nifty. So as we can see that this month has started on a positive note, and this candle has continued to try and close in the green. Now we have around 3 days of trading days, taking into consideration the Diwali holiday tomorrow, and we have the expiry on the Thursday and Friday and Monday. These are the only 3 days that we are going to be having trading, unless and until something drastic happens in our markets. This candle might tend to close green or might tend to close with a slightly indecision candle. Since this is a monthly chart, we just need to be a little wary as we are coming closer to these highs. We are still taking a strong support of this monthly level of demand from where the prices are bouncing. So we are maintaining that more or less in the days to come, we might see a consolidation between this high, which is over here. Just draw this over here again. So the consolidation that I'm talking about is that we might expect the market to remain in a consolidated mode between these two levels, unless and until market makes a new high, retests the levels on a closing basis, and then starts trading up. So unless and until this happens, markets may not get the momentum to move further to the upside. We might still see another few months of consolidation in the days to come. Alright, let's move on to the weekly chart to see what's happening on the weekly chart. Again, on the weekly, today, although we opened gap up, we saw a significant sell-off, and obviously now, since we are coming closer to this weekly supply, we are bound to see a little bit of selling pressure or some kind of profit booking coming in. Again, if you look at this chart, this is also indicating that Nifty is more or less in a sideways to consolidation phase, where we can expect the market to just remain range bound between these two levels in the days to come, unless and until significantly prices break to the upside, or then prices go down and break to the downside. Let's move on to the daily chart. And on the daily chart, today we have had a pretty bearish candle close. This may not signify anything yet, because this could be just a little bit of profit booking that is coming in, and the prices maybe are pulling back to some intraday levels of demand. But this is a bearish candle, and this reaction is actually coming from this area over here that we see here. So definitely prices have hit, and this is the Muhurat candle, and today we have seen a little bit of a sell-off, taking out yesterday's low as well. So the first thing that the market might try and do on the Nifty is that we might try and fill this gap, and if we are unable to hold on to this gap level, then we might see a further downside on the Nifty. If you look at the overall location, we are in the expensive area, and there is likelihood of some selling pressure coming in from these levels. So one needs to be a little careful on trading any longs to the upside. Let's quickly have a look at volatility analysis. So I'm going to load the volatility indicator here, and जैसे ही हमने ये volatility indicator chart के ऊपर लोड किया है, we are seeing that volatility की जो premium options की जो premiums हैं, वो थोड़े से सस्ते हैं, they are cheap. So at least that is what the indicator is telling us. And in the current scenario, if you are planning to initiate any options positions, then it's always good to implement debit strategies instead of credit strategies, क्योंकि प्रीमियम के जो दाम हैं वो बहुत सस्ते हैं, and this indicator is telling us that right now it's not an ideal time to enter any kind of credit strategies with a positional view in the market. Unless and until you have a intraday perspective, then it's a different thing altogether. बट अगर आपका व्यू पोजिशनल है एंड लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर ट्राइंग टू क्रिएट सम काइंड ऑफ अ बेरिश ट्रेड इन दिस सप्लाई जोन, then you can plan some debit directional strategies to the downside. Let's move on to a slightly smaller time frame. So let's move to a intraday chart. और अगर हम देखेंगे कि intraday chart ये 30 minutes का chart है, we are seeing some kind of a reaction come the moment the price has hit these levels, and this is that entire chunk of the daily supply zone. But the real crux of supply is this original level from where the prices have actually fallen down. So मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि शायद अगर weakness market में दोबारा आएगा तो शायद इस level से वापस दोबारा market नीचे की तरफ गिर सकता है. तो we are more or less likely to see more like an impulse correction, then another leg of an impulse, and then maybe another fall. Okay, so this is a very crucial area right now for the Nifty, 17,861 to 17,975. अगर ये level convincingly ऊपर की तरफ break होता है, then we might move closer to that 18,300 odd level. Okay, that is also another level to watch out for, but that is slightly a little further away level. But let's try and see in the coming days इस level से हमें क्या reaction मिलता है. Alright, so this was the perspective on the Nifty. Now let's move on to the Bank Nifty. So let's start with the monthly chart of Bank Nifty. और comparatively अगर हम दोनों Nifty और Bank Nifty का chart compare करें, we can clearly see that Bank Nifty is the stronger of the two, without a doubt, right? But one thing very important to remember is today we have hit a very key level on the Bank Nifty, which is the 41,500 odd level. And we are slightly seeing some kind of a move to the downside. So this area, that is 41,500 के ऊपर अगर market consistently trade करता है, then more or less likely possible that it will break this 41,800 handle and start trading to the upside. And maybe that could be a trigger for the Nifty also to start moving to the upside, right? Creating that bullish momentum. But unless and until that happens, we can't expect the Bank Nifty to break out, and again for a few months it might just be consolidating in a very tight range, right? So unless and until this breaks and prices come down, or this breaks and prices go up, we might not see a big momentum coming into the Bank Nifty. Alright, let's move on to the weekly chart. On the weekly, again today after a big gap up opening, we are seeing a little bit of a sell-off. Obviously prices are in a higher time frame supply, although this supply is not yet quantified yet, because this level of demand is still holding on, and because this level of demand has held, there is a very likelihood that there could be some pressure on the Bank Nifty to move further to the upside, unless and until the market decides to do something like this again. So again we might fall into the consolidation territory. So this candle is going to be a very important candle for the week to close. अभी ये week चालू है, ये candle अभी तक बंद नहीं हुआ है. Today in fact is the first day of the week where trading has happened. So we cannot see anything as of now with respect to how this candle is going to close. So the weekly close of this candle is going to be very crucial for the market. If the weekly candle closes above this supply, then we are going to see a momentum coming into the market, and a very strong momentum can come into the market, especially on the Bank Nifty to the upside. But if the weekly candle does close in a bearish manner, then there is a very likely possibility that we might again move into a consolidation phase on the Bank Nifty. तो ये जो वीकली कैंडल है, इसका जो क्लोजिंग है वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है इस हफ्ते. Alright, let's move on to the daily chart. And if you look at the daily chart, very similar to the picture on the monthly and the weekly charts of the Nifty. The daily candle has also closed in a bearish manner, right? Slightly engulfing the previous day's candle as well, right? Considered to be more like a bearish signal for the market. Now, the thing is that we are very high on the curve, and any longs initiated here तो थोड़े जो ट्रेडर्स जिन्होंने लॉन्ग पोजीशंस इनिशिएट किए हैं यहाँ पे, उनको थोड़ा केयरफुल रहना होगा, क्योंकि यहाँ से मार्केट जो है वो रिवर्सल दे सकता है और बहुत बड़ा रिवर्सल दे सकता है. सो यू नीड टू बी अ लिटिल केयरफुल with longs initiated anywhere over here. All right, let's move on to an intraday chart to see if there could be any kind of a signal that would give us to initiate any kind of a bearish position on the market. Now this entire chunk of supply is a very very big supply zone, but if you look at this area over here, this is that area from where the prices have actually collapsed or actually fallen down, right? And again, if you see today also, prices are reacting from that area, right? So again we are in a phase where supply is under control, और यहाँ से हमें एक potential turning point मिल सकता है. Whosoever has initiated any short positions or created any short positions, your first target on your shorts will be this gap level. It's more evident on the 5-minute chart of the bank Nifty. Right, so this is that that gap level. But अगर market यहाँ से एक bearish momentum maintain करना चालू करता है, then you also have these new levels of supply that the market has created. So let's say this level, or let's say this level. And these levels could also play in handy, where the market can possibly do something like move here, move into this level, and then further keep on going down for bigger targets. So one level to watch out for on the long side will be this area, and you need to just be a little aware. This level might be more clearer on the smaller time frame. So let's go quickly to a 3-minute chart. So we might see some kind of a bounce coming out of this area over here, 40,500. Again, a very very crucial round number for the market. So just be a little aware that अगर ये level break होता है नीचे की तरफ, market will not at all hesitate to come and test these 40,500 levels. So just imagine today we were at 41,500, and within no time there is a possibility of reaching 40,500 levels, which is going to be a 1,000-point move from today's high. Can that happen on Thursday or a Friday? We don't know, but it may happen since we are in an expensive territory. So we need to be a little careful on longs, and these areas of demand preferably should be looked as profit taking zones for your shorts, not new trades to be initiated here. Okay, so just be aware of these areas, and more or less these areas might likely get triggered in the days to come. Alright, if we look at the options premiums on the Bank Nifty, जैसा हाल निफ्टी का है वैसा सेम हाल ऑप्शंस प्रीमियम्स का हाल है बैंक निफ्टी पे भी. ऑप्शन के प्रीमियम जो है वो सस्ते हैं, तो इट इज़ ऑलवेज गुड दैट व्हेन द प्रीमियम्स आर चीप यू वांट टू बी एन ऑप्शंस बायर. So without a doubt, stay away from options selling with a positional view on the Bank Nifty. And if you have a directional view, then you can plan some directional bearish strategies. और अगर आप अगर नॉन डायरेक्शनल व्यू मेंटेन करना चाहते हैं बैंक निफ्टी के ऊपर, तो आप कोई भी नॉन डायरेक्शनल बेरिश कोई भी नॉन डायरेक्शनल जो है डेबिट स्ट्रेटजी आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं इस मार्केट में. Alright, the sector for the week is Nifty Fmcg, but before we do that, we'll go to the USDINR chart and let's quickly have a look at USDINR. And अगर हम USDINR का चार्ट देखेंगे तो मंथली जो चार्ट है वो हमें completely different story बता रहा है, right? If you look at this entire monthly chart, prices are bouncing strongly from this area, and this candle close is going to dictate the next move on our indexes, right? So very very key level forming around the 80 handle on the monthly, and this is going to be a very very key demand zone on the USDINR. All right, if the prices do revisit this area, we might see a further uptick coming in the USDINR. Let's go on to the 75-minute demand zone. And if you look at the 75-minute demand zone, we had plotted this level a few days back. You can see how the price came into this area, reacted and gave a very strong move from this level. So we can clearly maintain a stance कि अगर कोई डिमांड निफ्टी USD INR पे है तो ये डिमांड जो है वो इस लेवल पे ज़्यादा है. ऊपर वाला लेवल भी चल सकता है, there is no doubt about it. So let's go to a 30-minute chart and let's assess the level on top. So the level that I'm talking about is this area over here. So let's go to 15 minutes and see if we can see something more clear and evident. So this is that area that you got to be a little careful about. यहाँ पे 8190 यानी कि 82 के आसपास जो वाला लेवल है, यहाँ से मार्केट जो है अगर रिट्रेस करता है, we may expect to see a bounce coming in. We are definitely not going to be shorting the USD INR, so we'll have to maintain a long bias and we can expect the prices to do something like this in the days to come. Alright, the sector for the week is FMCG, and tomorrow we have a key stock which is announcing its earnings, which is Dabur. So we are going to be looking at the FMCG sector, and then we are going to be looking at Dabur as the stock of the week. So let's look at the FMCG sector from the monthly perspective. So FMCG sector has made an all-time high. Right now it is consolidating, so nothing, no supply on the monthly chart, only demand. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly पे अगर हम देखेंगे एक कंसोलिडेशन सा बन रहा है. अभी तक जो डिमांड है वो करंट मार्केट प्राइस से काफ़ी दूर है, और थोड़ा सा हमें यहाँ पे केयरफुल रहना पड़ेगा बिकॉज दिस साइन इज़ ऑल्सो शोइंग अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ टायर्डनेस. तो अगर यहाँ से मार्केट अगर एक नया हाई देने में फेल होता है, देन देयर इज़ अ पॉसिबिलिटी दैट द मार्केट माइट स्टार्ट, और दिस पर्टिकुलर मार्केट माइट स्टार्ट करेक्टिंग टू द डाउन साइड. And if that happens, then all the FMCG stocks will also start correcting. Alright, let's move on to the daily chart of the FMCG sector, and here you can see what I'm trying to say here. After this consolidation, market has created this fresh supply zone. This is from where the markets are reacting right now. And if you look at this complete area here, there is no clear or clean level of demand anywhere until this point. So we do have this level of demand here, but again this level is not that great. So we might expect to see a lot of correction coming in the FMCG stocks in case if the FMCG sector begins to correct. So now let's move on to our perspective for Dabur. Dabur is announcing its earnings tomorrow. So we are not giving you any kind of a recommendation or any trade as such. We are just going to be looking at Dabur with a analysis perspective. So let's look at Dabur. Let's look at the monthly chart of Dabur and look at all this on Dabur, right? This is not really great price action on Dabur. So monthly chart is not giving us any kind of a great feeling about Dabur. We don't know what the earnings are going to be, but there are some key levels that Dabur has created on the higher time frame chart. So let's quickly look at those levels. So on the 4-hour chart, that is the 240-minute chart, there is a key level. Let me just refresh the graph here so that we can see it with a larger perspective. More data on this chart. Let's see if we are able to see a little bit of price action to the left hand side. Okay. So the key area to watch out for Dabur is going to be this supply zone, and taking the stance that FMCG sector is the weaker sector, there is a very high degree of possibility that in case if good earnings or good results lead to the stock moving up, don't jump the gun and buy any stock on good news, because good news may not always be good news. it can easily take Dabur towards this area of supply, trigger this supply, and the markets could just simply start moving down and moving down with a ferocious velocity. Alright, so key area to watch out for on Dabur, 553, 561 with a swing or a positional view to the short side. So keep a close check on Dabur 553, 561 value, and then once these levels play out, we will come back in our next weekly view session and re-evaluate what has gone right or what has gone wrong on some of our levels. Thank you very much everyone for your time and for your patience. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. Wishing you a very happy Diwali and a new year from the entire team of Sharekhan Education and myself. Looking forward to see you in the next week analysis on the Nifty and other stocks. Take care. Bye-bye.
This should not be treated as a recommendation. Please conduct your own analysis or consult a financial advisor before investing.